Somalian Farid Tariq, convicted of rape in 2012 and convicted again of rape in 2024. Why was he not deported after the 2012 conviction? So today, Tariq has been sentenced to 18 years for rape, with the judge saying he must serve 13 years in custody and 5 on licence. Tariq pretended to be a taxi driver to pick up the woman who he then went on to rape. The woman had been on a night out in Swindon on the 15th of April 2023 when Tariq lured her into his car before driving to a quiet area where he raped her. The victim said in her statement that her life came crashing down as she struggled with her emotions. She told the court, "The rape will haunt me forever," adding that she turned to alcohol to try to forget what had happened. The judge told him that he was a significant risk to women and his attitude was not likely to change. It is the second time Tariq has been found guilty of raping a woman after a night out. He was jailed for 6 years back in 2012 for what the Crown Prosecution Service said called a near identical crime. So Tariq was found guilty of 1 count of rape back in 2012. The father of 3 who is from Somalia, but authorities are investigating if he is in the country legally. That's from the actual news article from 2012. So even then, the question was in this country legally. You know, did he come to the UK illegally? What's his status in this country? Has he got right to stay? So it may have come here, like I said, through nefarious means. He's had children here and he's been allowed to stay here for whatever reason. So even then, like I said, they're questioning what's he doing here. So Tariq raped a 32-year-old woman in a deserted car park. So basically the story goes as follows. The victim was walking home from a nightclub with her friend in the early hours when they were offered a lift by Tariq. After dropping the friend off, Tariq drove past the victim's house and went to the deserted car park. It is said that Tariq proceeded to lock the doors of his car and climb on top of the victim, pinning her down against her will. Tariq raped the victim before she managed to leave the car and ran home, where her boyfriend called the police. During her evidence, the woman broke down in tears on a number of occasions and said she feared for her life. She told the court, "We drove past the street where I should have got off, but he didn't stop and he continued driving. I wanted to get out, but he didn't let me. He locked the doors, then he started grabbing me. He went to kiss me. He wanted to have sex with me. I was crying and wanting him to stop. I was scared that I would not be able to get out and he would kill me." So sadly, that's a case from 2012, and like I said, he only got a very short sentence of 6 years for that particular case. Mentioned earlier, and again I'm quoting from the Swindon Advertiser, the actually saying that the authorities then were questioning his legality being in the country. So you do question that. So the 6 year sentence, I presume he did maybe serve 3 years, maybe 4 years, another 2 years on licence. So he might have come out in 2015, 2016, then so many years later, he could say it's quite a few years later, 7 years later, because the actual case where he was being convicted today was back in April of 2023. He went on to rape another lady, a very similar case, posing as a taxi driver, and has been convicted today for 18 years. But the question I'm asking is, and I think a lot, not just myself, I think a lot of other people are questioning, why was not this man deported back in 2012? Because this is, like I said, it's one of those archetypal cases, what doesn't reach national headlines. It only has today for the simple reason he's been convicted of a previous crime. I think if he'd have just, without sounding to be complacent, just got convicted for this particular crime, it may have not even reached national headlines. But it has reached national headlines because a lot of people are questioning when they look at his heritage, where he's from, Somalia. And you'll see that most newspapers or mainstream articles, the BBC and the Daily Mail, do not mention his nationality. But if you look back on some of the actual trial, and especially back in 2012, where they were not frightened to mention his nationality, you will see he is a Somalian. So again, why wasn't he deported? So they've allowed him to stay in his country, maybe on the premise that he's got a right to stay because he's got a family here, he's got 3 children, which he said on the 2012 article. He might have had more children since then. So he's probably been given a right to stay. They didn't deport him, and this is how he repays back the naivety of this country, or the incompetence of the legal system, or the Home Office, etc. Make your own minds up about that. Yeah, just another sickening case, and we've seen lots of these types of cases in recent times, both under the Conservatives and the Labour. They're just as guilty in my eyes, allowing this to happen. So basically what we're seeing in other cases where the human rights of the criminal, the perpetrator, are more important than the victims or the future victims, which in this case, sad thing to say, it might seem a silly thing to say, but that's what the lady was. Who was raped in 2023. She should never have been put in that position, as simple as that. This man should not have been in this country, so that's it. So, again, sorry for this, it's a bit of a blackpilling type of story, but it's just one of those types of story I think needs to be told, because this is happening quite often. All right, thanks guys, and thanks for your continued support. That's it.